Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntyre. I hope that y'all had a great week this far. If the week didn't go the way that you planned it, yesterday we only can control now and moving forward. One thing that I learned that you gotta sometimes roll with the punches, and things don't always go as planned, but you can always plan for success, plan to move forward, have a backup plan to your plan, especially when things don't turn out the way that you ought to. That's how life is. We have ups and downs in life, and sometimes things don't always go the way that we want it to, but it always works out in our favor. You got to have faith. You have to truly believe that things will work out into your benefit. This is why they say, have faith of a mustard seed, because it can reap good rewards. So make sure that you always have faith in everything that you do, and that everything will work out accordingly, as long as you do not give up. This journey in life is not for the faint of heart, because it can give you roller coasters, and things will get thrown at you, and you have to be able to navigate through life in that way. It gets hard sometimes. Each day is not the same, so we must go at it accordingly. When you do deal with life in general, and especially with people with mental health, sometimes life can seem heavy and it get hard at times, and that's why I encourage people to do as much as you can with the mindset that you have. Right, have a plan, so that when those days that you're not feeling your greatest, you still can accomplish some goals. For me, for the last couple months, I set minor goals that I accomplish every day. Minor could be just, making your bed, getting some meal prepped. So for me, I set like at least three big goals that I accomplish that day. And if I have the energy, if I can do more, I will. But I don't have to push myself beyond my boundaries. So know yourself, know what you're capable of. And sometimes we can push ourselves a little bit more, because I don't know what tomorrow will entail. That's why I make those goals and make sure I accomplish those goals. And that way, if tomorrow I'm not feeling my best, I know that these goals today were accomplished. I did a little bit more. I'm going to accomplish tomorrow's goals, and that's it. Like, I won't push myself beyond where my mental health is, right? So you know yourself. So set those goals for yourself so that you can get the most out of each and every day, and plan accordingly. Planning can take time, but we have phones, we have books, we write things down. I tend to forget a lot, so I write things down in my calendar, on my phone, on paper, on sticky notes, on note cards, just so that I remember. So know yourself. This journey is getting to know yourself as well. If you're interested in learning about the chakras, that's what I practice on a daily basis to help me on my healing journey, mental health, my spiritual journey as well. Chakras are energies on our bodies, and when they're blocked, they cause real physical illness. You can message me about them if you're interested in any of the items I have for sale, like the bracelets and the necklaces. I also have keychains with crystals on them. You can message me as well for that. We can have a conversation. If you're struggling with mental health and you just need someone to reach out to, you can reach out to me. I'm available. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you're ever contemplating suicide, it seems like life got too heavy and you're thinking about it, please don't. We need you here. You deserve to be here, and you have purpose. They have people that you can reach out to. So the number is 1-800-273-8255, or you can visit them on suicidepreventionlifeline.org. We need you here, and you have every right to be here. I know life seems heavy, and it seems like everything is not working out the way it ought to. Just keep fighting for yourself, right? The struggle is real. Mental health is real. A lot of people are suffering in more ways than one. Life is ever changing, and I know from experience that we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know even what later today brings, and things can attack our mental health. So it's important that we have that support system. Support system goes a long way, especially when you're struggling with mental health, knowing that you have someone there to help you. also, you need to be accountable and responsible for yourself. If you know you're struggling, you have to reach out. And I know sometimes out of fear, we don't want to reach out of judgment, but in order to get the help that you need, you got to be willing to do at least that much for yourself. So please do that. Please do that so that you can start to live the best life that you can. Also, follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook BYC Become Your C, TikTok at Become Your C, and YouTube BYC Become Your C. So the topic for this week is, does mental health cause other body illness or cause body illnesses? And it does. They kind of counteract with one another. Like, you can have physical illness that can cause mental health, and you can have mental health issues that cause physical illness. And you can have one or the other. You don't have to have both, but sometimes they actually do. They are linked together, and I tie in actually mental health with physical and spiritual health as well. That's why I started on the chakra journey, because I was suffering from some physical things, not knowing what was going on. You will always urge people, if you are having some of these symptoms, like mental health symptoms, that causes the body symptoms, please go get checked out at the doctor first. Rule out any underlying causes. You just never know. But if it's not anything, I always go back to the spiritual side. Like, what am I suffering from internally that is manifesting physically, right? What we hold on to internally can cause physical illnesses, and it can affect our mental health. So we actually have to get to the center of what's going on inside of us. Only we know what's going on, and that actually takes a lot of work. For the last few years, I've been working on myself internal, and it's not an easy road. It's not an easy journey. A lot of people try to cover up things because they didn't want to deal with it, and I get it. It's a lot, right? When you're slowly starting to figure out who you are, and the traumas and the triggers, it can be overwhelming, and some people don't want to deal with that. But if you don't deal with what's hurting you, it's going to continue to make you bleed. And this is why it's important that we do our work, right? Our internal work, so that we can live the life that we want, so that we don't have to suffer from these physical illnesses or the mental illness. There's no cure for mental illness. They're figuring out ways to, be able to thrive and function, and you can still have mental illness and thrive and function in today's society, whether it be with medication, therapy, the religion aspect, or the holistic aspect. But this is something that you have to work on each and every day. It's not something that you just pick up. You have to combat it, because you just never know. Like, for me, I just never know. I never know when I'm going to have a panic and anxiety attack. I never know when I'm going to fall into depression. I have a little bit of OCD. I don't know. That's getting better. I have PTSD, and even at that, it's gotten so much better, but I still don't know my triggers, right? I don't know if I come face to face to something and that is a trigger for me, and it's going to set me back. So knowing yourself and constantly doing the work, right? The work is the hard part. Doing the internal work, why we react the way we do, why we feel that way we do. And last week I talked about an environment. Everything plays a role in our mental health. So the more that we know ourselves, the better that we could come up with that plan to tackle it first head on. So getting back to, does mental health affect or cause body illness? It affects your ability to make healthy decisions and fight off chronic disease. So when you're suffering from a mental health issue, right, you're not in the right headspace. So you may let things go. Like, when you're suffering from depression, you may eat minimum, or you may overeat, right? And that's going to affect your health. Like, let's say you gain weight, that can cause diabetes and high blood pressure and cholesterol from your mental health, right? Depression can cause that. So it's important to know your mental health status, and that way, and your physical status. That way, you can see what the triggers are and what you can do to help them. Mental health can also cause high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, gastrointestinal issues, a weakened immune system, and premature death, right? Fatigue, sleeping problems, and unexplainable aches and pains. If you're suffering a lot from any of these, definitely go get evaluated. And sometimes the doctor can't find anything wrong. So then you want to seek therapy. Therapy, for me, was beneficial. It's beneficial to a lot of people, and you may have to go to a couple of therapists before you find one that fits you. But definitely go out and seek. You want to make sure that your head is checked out, because your head affects, our thought process affects everything about us, right? If you're in a schizophrenic or bipolar state, you may go days without eating. You may start to do abuse drugs or alcohol just to take you out of that mindset. So one can definitely cause the other, right? If you're in a downward spiral and you're abusing alcohol, some people can get aggressive uh, with alcohol, right? And if you consume too much alcohol over time, it affects your pancreas, it affects your liver, it starts breaking down your body. So definitely make sure that you're getting the help that you need to prevent some of these issues. And also it's important that we know about our genetics, right? Some of these diseases can be genetic, which can affect our mental health as well. So it's important to communicate, if you can, with your family. I know sometimes families aren't as close as they used to be, so it's hard to get that information. Kind of like ancestry and stuff like that, because it kind of can tackle on some of that. So if you have the money, it may be beneficial to go do like 23andMe, do an ancestry test to figure out your traits and figure out what's wrong, especially if you don't have that family unit that can actually relay some of this information. Also, depression and anxiety are actually linked to increased coronary heart disease and heightened blood pressure. So if you're a person that suffers from depression and anxiety, it definitely affects you in more than ways. When you're depressed, you're sad, it weakens your immune system, and it causes like the diseases to get in, right? And so when your immune system is not strong, you can't fight off regular common colds. And it can cause, like, a common cold that doesn't get treated can cause pneumonia. It can cause a lot of different things, right? When you're having a panic and anxiety attack, it definitely affects your heart. It causes heart palpitations, right? Your blood pressure will skyrocket because your body is trying to fight off what I call an attack, right? When you're in an anxious or panic mode, it's like a fight or flight, right? So your body is trying to prevent anything from harming you, but also in turn isn't harming you internally. So we have to pay attention, and also knowing you can't prevent anxiety and panic. Sometimes you can eliminate it, right? Get it down to where it's functionable. But sometimes you may have a panic or anxiety attack that's out of the blue. So knowing those symptoms, but over time it does affect your body, right? I have them often, and sometimes I feel like my brain gets affected by having one of them, and definitely get checked out. Like, I have had CAT scans, I've had a lot of different physical tests, and it came back. So I know that it's internal that I need to focus on. So you know yourself, you know what can be causing these, so definitely pay attention. Mental health can be overlooked while treating cancer, diabetes, and psoriasis. So sometimes when doctors are treating a physical disease or illness, they may not worry about your mental health, because the most important thing for them is to treat these diseases. But also, while they're treating the disease, it's affecting you, right? A lot of people that, like, you see that's have cancer and they get on radiation, it affects them internally, and they start to get depressed because they're in a lot of pain. When your body is in pain and you feel like there's no way out, it definitely can be a saddened time. And so we need to make sure that while we're treating physical diseases, that we're also treating mental health as well. They go hand in hand, and it affects you overall. When you're depressed for too long, it can it can trigger a lot of different things. It can make you want to do things to take away the pain. Like you may develop addictions to certain things to alleviate the pain. A lot of people that's in physical pain tend to become addicted to a lot of things, such as drugs, alcohol. You see a lot of people addicted to pills because they're trying to take away the pain. What can you do to help alleviate some of the pain? Well, you can make sure that you have a plan. Make sure you're doing everything that you can for yourself, right? To try to prevent some of these diseases. Diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, there are preventable diseases. Our diet, our physical activity plays a role in our mental and physical health as well. For me, I exercise every day because it makes me feel better. And so that's something that I choose to do for myself. And also it keeps my weight down. I'm getting better at eating what I need to, but our diet plays a role in our mental health. When we consume too many calories, we gain weight. Too much weight on our body affects our health as well. Too much weight around your midsection can cause heart issues as well. So trying to have an overall better diet can enhance your quality of life, which enhances your mental health as well. Diet is one of those things. It's hard. I struggle a lot with trying to make better food choices. I do overall eat the best quality and good food choices, but sometimes I slip and I start eating things that I'm not supposed to, but it affects my health as well. Like for me, I stay away from things that are highly caffeinated because it affects my anxiety and panic attack. So you know what you're doing to your body. Certain things we can prevent, certain things we can't. So those things that we can prevent, we need to do something about it. Change doesn't happen overnight. If you're used to eating a crappy diet, trying to eat a well-balanced diet can cause some setback for you, but over time, if you put these things into practice, it can become a routine, and after a while you don't even worry about it. Also, not a lack of sleep can affect your mental health and your physical health as well. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. If you're not getting enough sleep, there's nothing that you can do whatever you want, but not having enough sleep, your body can't rest properly, right? You may not have the energy you need to make the good choices, right? So when you don't get enough sleep, it affects your brain. And so your brain increases um it increases bad decision making, right? When you don't get enough sleep, you need something that keeps you up. So a lack of sleep can cause those negative food choices, right? When you need the energy really quick, most of us tend to go find something with a lot of sugar in it, not knowing that one, you're gonna crash, and when you start eating sugar first thing in the morning, you're gonna crave it throughout the day. So be mindful of that. Practice mindfulness. Some things are prevented and some things are can't. But starting off with a positive mindset can actually help you overall. That takes time. Like I still work on it every day. I still struggle sometimes. When things is going chaotic, beyond your control. But definitely start practicing that. Also, do positive self-talk. A lot of times we down ourselves. Like, let's say we gain weight. I know that I am guilty of this. Like, I've gained weight. Sometimes I don't say the best things to myself, right? But your body responds to your thinking, right? And if you're constantly in negative thought, your cells is going to react to that negative thinking. It's going to keep you in that mindset. So let's say you have gained weight and you're telling yourself, oh, you're fat, you're this and that, so your cells are going to respond to that. So you may subconsciously just keep eating the bad food because you already feel sad and depressed from already gaining the weight. So make sure you pay attention to your thought process and what you're saying to yourself, right? And what you say to yourself, especially if you have children, your children also listen to you too. So that's important as well. knowing your status and having a plan can help you improve. So you want to make sure that everything is in check, right? Your mental health is definitely important, and it plays a role in a lot of different ways. And especially when it comes to physical illness, I like the holistic approach to mental health and physical health as well, because I think it's important. What we feed into our body affects us in so many different ways. What we listen to affects us in so many different ways. What we see, what we surround ourselves by affects us in many different ways. For me, I don't want to have any disease that I can prevent, right? And so I try my best to consume the best quality food. I try my best to eliminate certain things from my diet. And I'm a work in progress, right? As long as you keep trying, you'll never fail. You may get setbacks sometimes, but you'll never fail. You gotta treat your life as the most important thing. We only get one life to live, and we only have limited time on this earth. And so you want to do the best things that you can while you're here. Knowing yourself, right? And knowing what you can and cannot do can help you. And sometimes we have to push ourselves. Sometimes we cause these issues for ourselves and then get mad at ourselves when we develop certain things. Most of the diseases that I mentioned can be prevented, right? Diabetes and cholesterol and high blood pressure, they can all be prevented. Sometimes it is genetic. So you have to know yourself. And knowing if you're genetically disposed to developing the diseases. So now you got to take preventable measures, which is making sure you have a well-balanced diet, making sure you move in your body, right? A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. The more that we use our body, we're given it physical activity, it increases our mood. When you exercise, it enhances your mood. You feel better overall. Making positive choices and the good choices first thing in the morning affects the rest of your day. Like I did this test with myself, right? If I start consuming good quality choices in the beginning of the day, at the start of the day, my choices throughout the rest of the day tend to be better. So when you get up in the morning, try to make the best choices for yourself, right? Set yourself up. If you work, I know a lot of people work a lot, they're really busy. So you got to kind of set yourself up for success, right? Buy things that you know, like especially these things, the diseases that can be prevented, right? Buy those things that you can take on the road with you, like pack them, chop, meal prep can help you overall make better choices. Like I know sometimes in life it's kind of hard. Make easy choices. Make good choices that are easy. You don't have to sleep in the kitchen for 2 hours every day to make healthier choices, right? If you are in time constraint, especially, trying to fit in physical activity with your body, do what you can. Maybe set your alarm 30 minutes earlier so you can get up early enough to give your body at least 15 minutes of exercise. If you're not used to doing exercise, don't try to do too much too fast. Work your way up to it, but give yourself a choice. Give yourself a good start, right? Your mental health is important, just as important as your physical health, and you want to make sure they're in balance. Yes, one can cause the other. You can have both. Always make sure that you go get thoroughly evaluated to make sure that your disease, right, your physical disease isn't causing mental health. A lot of times, symptoms of mental health is a result of having a physical disease that you didn't know you had. When I first was going to therapy, my therapist suggested that I go get an evaluation because diabetes can mimic a lot of mental issues as well, such as panic, anxiety. Also, when you have like high blood pressure, it can cause depression. It can cause what else? The anxiety, the panic. So it's important that we know the symptoms. It's important that when we do discover these symptoms, that we tackle it firsthand. Don't, if you know that like for my family, we have a lot of people that suffer from diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. So I try to pay attention to what I'm putting in my body, because I know I'm getting older and I don't want to have to be put on medication with something that I know that I can prevent. I try to exercise as much as I can. I'm trying to find ways that I can better enhance my quality of life, and that's what I want for you. I want you to enhance your quality of life so it can be the best that it can be. And it all starts with you. You have to be proactive and having a better life for yourself, and that's making better choices, and that's going to the doctors regularly, and that's getting checked out, and that's making sure your mental health is in order, right? We can't become better if we choose to stay the same. And I know it's a struggle when you're dealing with mental health issues to worry about your health, your physical health. Like, you're trying to keep it all together inside your head, and so now you have to worry about your physical health as well. It can be burdensome trying to do multiple things at once, but you can do it, right? You have it in you to do it. Just make that plan like I suggested in the beginning. It can help you overall. Having a plan in place, it helps you see things in the forefront. Like for me, my thoughts get scattered sometimes. I forget a lot, and so I have to have this plan in place. It makes me make sure that I tackle my things head on, right? Make sure my goals are met. And you have to put yourself as a priority. If your mental health and your physical health is not a priority, it's going to affect everything around you. If you're physically ill, you can't do the simple things. Like, you might not be able, if you're sick in bed, you can't clean your house, or you can't prepare, you won't be able to go to work, and you won't be able to do those things that bring you joy. So you have to make your health overall a priority. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's actually vital. It's vital to everyone around you that you take care of yourself, because if you get affected and you're not being able to give up your full self, people can't reap the benefits of that, right? Just imagine, like, if you were taken out of a situation, people will be affected by that, especially if you're a person that affects a lot of people in a positive way. So just put that in mind. Just take care of yourself so that you can be the best for yourself and best for those around you. I know that it's hard when you struggle with mental health issues, worrying about your physical health as well. And then let's say you are on medication. Now you gotta remember to take these medications every day to make sure that you stay balanced. And then, like, maybe a medication can be affecting your mental health, right? Like, I know years ago I was on a medication for something totally unrelated, but I had a tooth pain. It caused suicidal thoughts, so I had to pull myself off of there. So you have to be mindful of what you put into your body, right? Even medication that's for your mental health, it can affect your physical health as well. You might be on a medication that can solve those mental issues, but maybe it's causing you to gain weight. Maybe it's making you, maybe you had an allergic reaction to it. You have to know yourself, and that's what's going to be important. That's what's going to help you on this journey. It's going to help you discover who you truly are. But in order to do that, you got to pay attention to what you're doing to yourself, right? And a lot of times we're so busy and we're so worried about everything and everyone, and we put ourselves on the back burner. So now it's time to stop. As we get older, and even the young people, we need to pay attention to ourselves, what we're surrounding ourselves with, because everything around us affects us. Everything that we do affects us. And so we want to make sure that we're doing things that can actually enhance us, right? It nourishes us. And that's pretty much all I have for you. Just know that sometimes our physical illness is, and our mental illness is not a result of what we're doing, for genetics, but we also can do something about it. Like, I never want to take the responsibility off of self, because at the end of the day, we are responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our healing. We're responsible for our journey. And I know it's a struggle sometimes with mental health. We don't want to get the help that we need because we're fearful of people. But in order to get better, you got to go get help. We can't do it all for ourselves. We weren't made to just exist by ourselves. We weren't made to just help ourselves. We can at some point, but helping ourselves and reaching out is also helping ourselves, if it makes sense, right? Those people are there for a reason. Doctors and therapists are there for a reason. They're here to help us. So don't be afraid to get the help you need. And I know sometimes finances can get in the way. Just do whatever you can to make your life the best quality life that it can be for yourself. And that's pretty much all I have. Like, so start each and every day with a positive mindset. Start each and every day with some type of activity, right? Squeeze it in. Make yourself a priority. I like to sleep in sometimes, but I know that I have to get up and exercise. So I set my alarm in enough time that I have time to accomplish everything. And sometimes if I don't get to it, I might have to exercise at night, which I don't like. So I make sure that I make myself a priority in the morning. And I'm trying to make the best choices that I make. Do I slip sometime? Yeah, I'm not perfect. We're not. We're gonna have those days where we don't make the best choices that we can, but keep fighting, keep getting up for yourself each and every day. Make yourself a priority. Make that plan, and also meditate on some things. I talk about self-reflection all the time. It's good because it shows you everything that you need to work on in the forefront. Meditation actually allows you to relax your mind so that you can actually hear your inner thoughts, and that's what's more important. Make sure you're making the best choices that is for you and not for people around you. And I think sometimes we allow ourselves to be put on a back burner because we're so worried about everything else. Make yourself a priority. Make your health a priority so you can have the best quality of life with the time that you have on this earth. I want you to know that you matter and that you're important and you deserve the best quality out of everything. So make yourself a priority. That's all I have for you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Become Your C, Facebook, BYC, Become Your C, TikTok, Become Your C, and YouTube. Go there and subscribe and stay up to date on all my latest podcasts. Remember that you're important and you're valuable and that you deserve the best out of life. And it's okay to put yourself first. Take care of yourself. And that way your life can manifest into whatever you want. During this week, if you're not already, start making better quality choices for your life. And sometimes, in order to make them choices, we gotta change. And that's what we're afraid of. So don't be afraid to change so that you can give yourself the best quality life as possible. Fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Till next time.